Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Trent. If you're watching this video, you're either a new beginner looking for some tips, tricks, maybe some spreads, some inspiration for one pen bullet journal layouts. If that's you, welcome. Or if you're more like me and you're just binge watching your 8th bullet journal spread video, you're welcome too. So grab your candle, grab your planner buddy, and let's go ahead and get going. Okay, so for this first spread, I skipped the top 3 lines for like the ability to put in a header if I wanted to. You can jazz it up a little bit. It's totally fine, but I skipped the top 3 rows. The first section is 15 squares deep by 9 squares wide. Then the middle section is 15 by 8. And of course, the last section on that page is going to be 9 by 15. On an A5 bullet journal, in order to split it into thirds, you have to skip 2 spaces. So that's why the Monday and the Wednesday column, the Thursday and then the weekend columns are going to be 9 wide instead of 8. It's just the way that an A5 journal is set up. None of this is sped up. Recording this video probably took me about 15 minutes to record in total. So 5 spreads, 15 minutes, that's about 3 minutes a piece. If you are on a time crunch, these spreads could not be more simple for you to just pull out and plan your week, get it done. It's something that if you are in a time crunch and you're just looking for something that you can do with just one pen, these spreads are what you're going to be looking for. So I left that bottom spot for a task list throughout my week or some notes. If you want to do a habit tracker, you can do a habit tracker as well. Totally up to you. There's lots of real estate on this spread for you to doodle in or just brain dump. Anything that you really want or need, that's going to be a good spot for you to be able to do that. Okay, now for this spread, this is probably going to be the second most minimal spread that you could possibly do. It's literally just going to be a couple lines, cutting the page in half, and then 3 spaces in from the left, you'll draw a line, 3 more spaces. That's going to be like your Monday square. 5 spaces from that is going to be another 2 lines, and then 5 more spaces, and you'll have your middle line. So you'll see what I'm talking about right here. I draw 2 vertical lines, 3 spaces apart, and that'll be my Monday. And yeah, this is not a spread that I would typically use myself, but I have seen it used, and it turns out quite cool when you're looking back on it. Just being able to break up the pages the way you need them to so that everything kind of works out in your favor. if there's one day in your week where you know you're gonna need a little bit more space, feel free to make it so that that's the one that's facing the full half sheet of paper for your notes. So you'll see, like on this one, Monday and Wednesday share a space. Tuesday has a whole bottom. Right? The same for Thursday. Yeah, if you know your Wednesday's gonna be busier, point that down. Have Monday and Tuesday share the top. Totally fine. Okay, so this next spread is going to be more reminiscent of what your typical one pen setups are going to be. Easily, by far, one of the most clean setups that you could have. It's super easy and simple, just rectangles. Now, I will say this spread probably took me the longest to do, just because I use a ruler and I like nice, sharp, straight lines. But if you aren't that particular about it, you could freehand the lines and probably reduce the time that it takes to make this particular spread. So I'm a big proponent of things looking symmetrical. So each one of these rectangles is actually 18 squares down by 12 squares wide, with 2 square gaps in between the left and right columns and the top and bottom columns as well. Makes everything cohesive and just pleasing to the eye if you're just looking at it and planning out your week. Okay, so this one, I tried to create a place where you could time block if you needed to. I know that there are some time blockers out there that is their form of productivity, and I wanted to make sure I had a spread in here for you lovely people. The first vertical line is going to be 9 spaces in from the outer edge. Then this one after that for Tuesday's block is 8 spaces, and Wednesday's again is another 9. Because like we said, the A5 journal has those 2 extra spaces, so they're just on either end. Now the place for the time, that is 20 squares long, vertically. And then I just cut the bottom line so that I had a place for tasks or just notes for me to take from that day. Which you'll see here. All right, see, just have the little time slots. I think what's cool about the time is that you can start it whenever you want it to. So if you wake up scheduled for a different time slot, you can always start it whenever you want to start it. That's just typically when I start my days. Okay, this spread is probably the easiest spread I've ever done. If you want to separate it with lines, you are totally able to. The dimensions of each box is if you skip the first two rows at the top, skip the first 2 rows, then each section is 12 squares down. And I just would cut them all the way across. But I decided to not draw the lines in, so you cut each of those 12-inch squares down to 4s. I just picked the middle 4 and I just hand drew the letter in for the day of the week. I didn't make it fancy. I didn't do anything like that. It was just hand drawn. I didn't even use a ruler. Super simple. So let's go ahead and review, and I hope any of these spreads bring you joy. I hope you're able to use them. I hope you are able to keep going with your bullet journal journey. And if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment on what you like in your bullet journal, and check back next week where we will be setting up a new month, because February is already almost here, and that's crazy to think about. We will have to do a whole new monthly spread for February, and I will definitely have a few more super easy spreads for the bullet journal beginner, or if you're just a minimal, no fuss kind of bullet journal. I'll see you next week.